Imagine this, a perfect con woman playing billionaires like a game until a twist shatters everything you thought you knew. This story's full of betrayal, secrets, and a game so deadly it will blow your mind. Just when you think you've got it all figured out, bam, the real mastermind steps in. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Dropping a like and a comment is the least you can do to show some love. And like we always say, even if some stories seem the same, they ain't never the same when I'm the one telling them. The movie begins in a small, dusty bookstore tucked away in New York City. Tom, a quiet man who owns the shop, lives surrounded by old stories and forgotten dreams. One day, Sandra walks in, a young woman chasing a PhD and looking for a gift for her professor. Tom spots her passion for books and strikes up a gentle conversation. But when Sandra's card won't work, Tom says, "Take the book, pay me later." It's a small act of kindness that sparks something unexpected. So that evening, Sandra comes back, not just to pay, but to say yes to Tom's dinner invite. They share quiet moments over sushi and warm sake. Tom opens up about losing his mother and losing himself to sadness, while Sandra reveals a childhood stitched together by foster homes and the stories that saved her. Their bond is fragile but real, built from broken pasts and whispered hopes. But beneath the surface, the calm hides shadows waiting to creep out. One night, Tom visits Sandra, but their quiet evening is shattered by loud, angry knocking. Sandra says it's her brother Jason, who owes money to dangerous people. His life was twisted by foster care, and now debt drags him deeper into darkness. But Tom stays calm and keeps standing by Sandra. Their bond feels stronger, like a fragile lifeline in a storm. So weeks later, Tom shares his own pain, his father's cold words calling him a failure. Things look like they might heal, but then Sandra drops a bomb. Jason was attacked, and his debt is now $350,000. They want it in 4 days, or worse will come. Sandra feels trapped. Tom says his father runs a hedge fund. He can get the money. Sandra hesitates but agrees, promising to pay him back. They plan a meetup to hand off the cash. That night, Tom waits at the restaurant. Sandra never shows. Her apartment is empty. She's vanished. And Tom is left alone, hurt, confused, sinking fast. The movie shifts to Sandra's past, weeks before she met Tom. She's at a dingy bar, talking to her parole officer. Sandra isn't just a book lover. She's on parole with a dark past. The officer grills her about work, but Sandra admits she's broken the rules. But just as the officer moves to arrest her, a slick man named Max steps in. He tries to bribe the officer with money, but she says no at first. So Max walks away, and the officer starts to doubt herself. Sandra watches as the officer calls Max back for a secret talk. After a quick chat, the officer walks off, wearing a shiny Rolex. But the watch is a fake, just another one of Max's tricks. He hands Sandra $1,000 for playing along and finally lays out his plan. Max offers her a place to stay, but she'll have to work for him. The next morning, Sandra wakes up to the smell of breakfast. Max smiles and talks like Titanic is his favorite movie, but he doesn't watch movies at all. It's all part of their scam. Max tells Sandra her job is to charm rich men by pretending to be perfect. While she plays the part, Max spies on their secrets and weaknesses. But Sandra doesn't take it seriously. She spends the night smoking weed instead of preparing. Max finds out and flies into a rage. He kicks her out, furious she's wasting their chance. So Sandra begs for one more shot. Max agrees, but only if she stays clean and follows every rule. From then on, Sandra's mission is clear: learn everything about Tom. She studies his favorite books and even acts like a real literature student. Her sad stories, all lies to make Tom fall for her. Her past, her love for books, everything, just a mask she wears perfectly. Max testing Sandra at a dinner. He points to a man at the bar and tells her, "Go charm him." Sandra walks over, calm and sure, and quickly gets the man's attention. They head to his hotel room, but just before things start, Max storms in, pretending to be her jealous ex. Sandra tells the man to wait outside while she calms Max down. Once the man leaves, Max drops the act and starts hunting for valuables. Sandra passes the test. Max knows she's ready for the big con. Then the story shifts back a few days before Max and Sandra teamed up. Max visits his mother, Madeline. She lives in a fancy apartment with her rich husband, Richard, who worships her. Max likes to stir the pot. He mocks Richard's age and pretends to be drunk, making the room tense. But in the end, Madeline lets Max stay the night. Trouble is never far when Max is near. The next day, chaos explodes. Madeline and Richard come home to find Max getting arrested for buying drugs from an undercover cop, but it's all a setup. Richard offers the officer $1,000 to smooth things over, but Madeline sees through the lie. Max staged the arrest with a fake cop just to rob Richard. Furious, Madeline slaps Max right in front of Richard and throws him out. Family drama? More like a crime scene. Then things twist hard. The next day, Madeline visits Max in secret. She's not really his mom. She's his partner and girlfriend. Together, they've been scamming Richard for months. She tells Max Richard wants to meet him at his office to settle things. But in their world, nothing settles clean. The next day, Max walks into Richard's office right after Richard finishes a health checkup. But then, Tom shows up too. Turns out Richard is Tom's father. Tom hasn't met Sandra yet, but Richard opens up to Max about his son. Since Tom's mom died, Tom doesn't care about the family business. All Tom wants is something simple, a little bookstore. Richard, a powerful man, feels hurt and disappointed. Then he offers Max a deal, $60,000 a month for a year, all paid up front, just to stay away from Madeline. Max sees the cash and agrees without hesitation. He walks away with a briefcase full of trouble and money. That night, Max celebrates with Madeline and the fake cop at a bar. They think the scam is perfect. Their plan: disappear and start fresh somewhere else. But Madeline says she needs to go back to her apartment to grab some things. The next morning, Max calls, ready to leave. Madeline answers cold. She's not coming. Now that she has Richard's money and love, she doesn't need Max. Worse, she's already reported him to the police. Max realizes he's been stabbed in the back. He panics and runs, trying to escape before it's too late. Later, Richard dies after a long illness. Madeline acts like she's sad, but her tears are all fake. Alone, she drops the act and gets ready to take everything. Richard's lawyer reads the will. Everyone is shocked. Most of the fortune, stocks, land, and $9.2 billion goes to Madeline. Tom gets just enough to run his bookstore and becomes chairman of Richard's charity, but Madeline holds all the power as trustee. She plays humble, apologizing to Tom and acting surprised. Tom trusts her blindly. With her fortune, Madeline lives like a queen. Designer clothes, fancy dinners, and luxury at every turn. But calm doesn't last long. One day, Tom tells Madeline he's digging into Sandra's past. He's even called Richard's old friend Braddock to help. Braddock studies the case fast and sees the truth. Sandra wasn't alone. The scam was too big for one person. Madeline tries to stop Tom, saying he's not after justice, but closure. She says he just wants to see Sandra again, not punish her. Tom backs down and tells his team to stop the search, but it's already too late. They've found Sandra, alone, tired, and living in a rundown apartment. The past is catching up, and chaos is knocking at the door. When Tom sees Sandra, he finally understands the truth. She wasn't the mastermind. The real villain was Max, the one who taught her to charm, lie, and fake it all. Tom lets Sandra stay with him to heal, but Madeline blows up. She calls Sandra a lost drug addict who can't be trusted. Tom stands firm. He wants to help no matter what. Madeline meets Sandra alone, thinking she can fix the mess. But Sandra shocks her. She knows everything. Max told her all about their scams. Sandra makes a deal. She'll keep Madeline's secrets if Madeline brings Max to her. Madeline, desperate, calls Max non-stop. After days, Max finally answers and agrees to meet. Madeline tricks Sandra into coming outside for a walk. But when Sandra sees Max, fury explodes. The man who lied and left her is right there. Before anyone can speak, two cars roar up fast. Tom is there, and he's not alone. His men and Braddock jump out, ready for a showdown. They corner Madeline, Max, and Sandra. The truth explodes. Tom's proof shows they worked together all along. Madeline just laughs. She says, "I own everything Richard left. I'm untouchable." Her power feels like armor. Tom pulls Braddock's gun and points it at Madeline. He yells she ruined his life. Sandra tries to stop him, but in the scramble, the gun slips and falls by Madeline's feet. Without thinking, she grabs it. Now she's the one holding the power, threatening everyone. Madeline is trapped, but ready to fight to keep control. Tom steps forward, forcing her hand down on the gun. Then a sharp crack. The gun fires. Tom falls. The room freezes. Chaos just hit its darkest note. Everyone freezes. Tom's body lies still. Tom's men jump to one conclusion. Madeline pulled the trigger. One of them calls the police fast. Panic flashes in Madeline's eyes. Her world is cracking. She calls her lawyer and orders Richard's entire fortune moved to the foundation, now in Tom's name. A last-ditch play to wash her hands clean. Later, Braddock books a flight for Sandra, Max, and Madeline. On the plane, Madeline boasts, "Tom's out. I still control the money as trustee." Max smiles, back in the game. Sandra? She's silent, excuses herself to the bathroom. Then something strange. A red stain on Madeline's sleeve, but the blood is fake. Suspicion spreads. Madeline accuses Max of faking Tom's death. Max is just as lost. Then the real shock. Sandra's been gone too long in the bathroom. Madeline rushes to check. Sandra vanished. The con just flipped again. The real twist hits hard. Sandra actually fell for Tom. After Richard died, she told Tom the whole truth about Max and Madeline's scams. Tom forgave her. They made a plan together. With Braddock and a trusted team, they cooked up a con to beat the original scammers at their own game. Every meeting with Max, Every lesson, every trick, it was all staged. Sandra used their own tricks against them. In the end, Tom wasn't really dead. He kept control of the foundation and Richard's fortune. Madeline and Max, once the smartest con artists, got played like everyone else. The movie closes with Tom back in his quiet bookstore, free, peaceful, and far from lies and greed. What would you do if you trusted someone only to find out they were playing you all along? Would you fight back or let the game end? Drop a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I want to hear how you'd handle this crazy twist.